We are back, finally, after a summer of holidays, concerts, pre-season training. We're back with another prediction show, and it's one of the biggest of the year, isn't it, Nathan? The EFL Championship table predictions for the 2025-2026 season. Let's just jump straight into it, because this could end up as a mammoth video. And this season we're going to go alphabetically in our predictions, which means we're going to kick off with newly promoted Birmingham City.
Yeah, starting with the champions of League One, absolutely walked the league last year. I think they actually set the EFL points record as well for all their wins that they had. They did slip up a few times, but ultimately they were just absolutely ridiculous, weren't they? Made some really good signings as well for championship level. Like they got an upper end championship squad anyway. That's the thing you need to look at. But what they need to make sure is the League One depth that they had last season, that they had in particular when they got relegated from the Championship. Those players need to step up, and to be honest, I think it's just way too strong not to put them in the playoffs. I put them fifth.
Yeah, they did absolutely phenomenal. There was 111 points last season, Nathan. Chris Davis, the manager. Did you actually know he's got a first-class honours degree in sports science, which he got from Loughborough University?
The sports uni.
It is, yes. Absolutely smashed the opposition and the points record, as we've already said. They've got a real difficult opening fixture, a mouth-watering fixture, a week Friday, at home against Ipswich. St Andrews is going to be full to rafters, absolutely rocking, and if they can beat Ipswich, that'll set a real tone for their season and really throw down the gauntlet. If they lose or draw, then it's not the end of the world, but it'll let them know that the Championship is a different kettle of fish than Division 1. Coming into their ranks, they've got the likes of Damari Gray, Kyogo Farashi, who bagged lots of goals whilst he was with Celtic. Tommy Doyle comes in on loan from Wolves, and he's got experience in the Championship. Jay Stansfield knocking the goals in for fun last season, like said Tomoyoko Iwata, Park Sung-hoi and Williamson in the middle midfield. They've got a real strong squad, and I expect them to do really well. I've got them in third position. Next up we go to Blackburn Rovers, and I've got Blackburn unfortunately in the 18th position. Probably you could say I'm in an R in this. They could finish a lot higher. Ishmael Valerian, I think that's how you put it. Ishmael, he came in February, didn't he, and really turned things around. They actually finished in 7th position at the end of last season. A great result, especially with most people predicting them to finish near the bottom last season. But they did actually lose 5 of those last 12 games. I think he got 4 in the last 6, 4 wins in the last 6, and that really propelled them up the league. They brought in a few additions over the summer so far. A couple of additions from Kortrijk, the sister club, you could say, of Cardiff City.
Another team that got relegated last season as well.
That's right, owned by Vincent Tan, of course. I'm interested to see how Sydney Tavares, a defensive midfielder, gets on from Moreirense, coming in from Portugal. He's got height and youth on his side, and Sean McLaughlin comes in from Luton, and he'll add vital experience at the back. And of course, it's always fun watching Todd Cantwell, whoever he's playing for, even Scotland or in the Championship. So I've got them finishing in 18th. Yeah, I can't see them going down, but with the amount of quality coming into the division this season, I've gone in 18th.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that much of a dramatic drop. They've lost a lot of players as well on the other hand of it, but I do really rate Ishmael as a coach. We've seen what he's done. West Brom, I believe he's at Barnsley before as well. Yes. Watford, another one. So I do like what he's done. But ultimately, it is the quality that's both come up, come down, rest of the team strengthening. So I'm going to be modest, and I'm going to put them in 12th. Next up, we've got Bristol City, of course, losing Liam Manning right at the end of last season, jumping straight to Norwich as well. They brought in Struber, who of course, another one who has got championship experience. He did very well, actually, at Barnsley a few years back, didn't he? I do think he's seriously a good appointment. They got some great, a solid squad apart from that, which they haven't lost too many players in. They just need They could strengthen a little bit with it, but this is another one where a bit of a transition, teams getting stronger around them, and unfortunately I can't put them any higher than 13th. So
13th.
Fair drop off, to be fair. I'm very concerned about that though.
Yeah, I've put them a little bit higher just because they did ever so well last season, and they have kept the majority of their squad as well. With Gerhard Struder coming in, he did really well with Cole, didn't he? Barnsley, as you say, Nathan. I think he's had experience as well in the MLS with New York Red Bulls. Liam Manning, he employed this sort of high-intensity attacking style of play, although he did change things up last season, and maybe being a little bit more pragmatic actually propelled them into the playoffs. With Gerhard Struber, apparently he's not really in the Nathan Jones mode, but he's got a high-intensity game himself, plenty of attacking style, bit of a hot wire, and it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. He'll be pushing his players all the way, and the likes of Jason Knight, captain there, and especially Scott Twine will be so important for them. Whether they can get into the playoffs again, I'm not so sure, so I will put them in 10th position. And talking about Nathan Jones, we move on to Charlton. Charlton doing ever so well to come up from Division 1 last season. I'm really interested to see how they get on. Nathan Jones, of course, is probably best when he's building a team rather than being chucked in the deep end with the likes of Southampton, where he really struggled in the Premier League, didn't
Stoke spell as well. That was dreadful.
Sort of, wasn't it? He did well with Luton, and he's got replicating that here with Charlton. So we'll see how high he can get this side. They've brought in a lot of players. Not too sure of the quality that they've brought in, but Reece Burke coming in from Luton is shrewd. Other additions up front are Charlie Kelman and Isaac Olafo, or Alofi. Just butchered his name, didn't I? But we'll see if they can score enough goals to keep this Charlton side up. I think it's going to be a very tough season because of the rising quality that we can see in the Championship, and I think they'll just about survive. It'll be fun with Nathan Jones, especially back in the Championship, and it'll be good to watch. I've got them in 21st.
Yeah, I've gone 21st as well. I think they're literally just going to stay up by the skin of their teeth with what I put in 23rd, 22nd and 23rd. Less said about 24th, which we'll get onto, well, spoiler, near the end of the video. But at the end of the day, if you can get Amari Bellfire in, then you're practically halfway there, aren't you? Squad depth does concern me a little bit, especially if you have injuries in that heavy Christmas period as well. Are the League One players similar to sort of Birmingham? Are they going to step up, and they need to on a bigger scale here? But I really rate Nathan Jones as a manager, so I think he's going to do the job there, to be honest. Moving on, we got Frank Lampard's Coventry City. Now, the thing you've got to look at this is they kept Jack Rodoni, they kept Haji Wright, who is going to be really reliable on him getting all the goals next season. Great squad depth, Jay Da Silva, Ellis Sims, Sakamoto. It's an insane squad. And when you look at Coventry over the last couple of years, they have been consistently in that playoff berth pushing for automatics. It reminds me a lot of Cardiff, I'd probably say between 2008 and 2013, where we were always there. And in fact, in 2 of those seasons, it was practically a crime how we didn't get automatically promoted. On the other hand of the table, we see a lot of teams who circle the drain that fall down the drain. For me, Coventry are a massive opposite here. And to be honest, it smells of an automatic promotion for me. I'll put them in second.
Really? That is bold.
Very bold.
I've got them in 6. Yeah, as you say, they're very exciting going forward, likes of Rodoni and Haji Wright, etc., Sakamoto, Ellis Sims, all that. But what has concerned me with Coventry last season is it's susceptible sometimes at the back, but they try to address that by the looks of it with who they've brought in, a couple of young full-backs in Kane and Kelsa Hayden from Villa, who did all right. I think he was on loan at Preston last season, and Miguel Angel Brau from Granada in Spain. Yeah, exciting going forward. Just need to keep things tight at the back, as I think they conceded the most of the top 10 clubs in the division last season. But looking at their fixtures for the first few weeks, they got a decent chance of having a real positive start. In the first 4 matches, they got Hull, Derby and Oxford. So we should see them bring in the points in those first 4 or 5 games, which will see them probably in the playoff zone, there or thereabouts. And I think they'll have a decent season. I put Coventry in 6th. Next we move on to D and Derby County. I'm putting Derby I think they're going to improve on last season. I put them in 14th position. John Eustace, really good Championship manager, excellent at this level. They're very strong at home at Pride Park, and they've made some very good additions as well, particularly up front. We've brought in Carlton Morris from Luton, which will give them a little bit of muscle. Okay, he wasn't too prolific last season, but he always causes problems for the opponent's defence. Daniel Barth will bring in a wealth of experience in defence, as will Anders Wyman from Blackburn.
Another solid Championship striker.
Yeah. They've also brought in from the MLS from Charlotte, Patrick Oijaman. Now he looks massive,
6'4",
big,
isn't he?
strong, 6'4", doesn't get knocked off the ball, so he's going to hold up the ball up front. However, I've watched a few of his videos, and he doesn't look like he can finish his dinner too well. So hopefully John Eustace will get hold of him and give him a bit of coaching there. Few players out the door, like Mendes Lang, go into MK Dons, and he teams up with Callum Patterson, who's left Sheffield Wednesday, the old sort of getting the gang back together there in the second division. And in the middle of the park, Abuwe Adams is sort of become integral now to that Derby
Massive
team.
Championship resurgence.
Yeah, he has. He's had his injury woes. Excellent last season, and I think they'll do well by finishing in 14th position. I don't think they have got the overall quality though to get into the playoffs, but I think it's another sort of step forward for them, and they build, and maybe in a season or two they can challenge for a playoff berth.
Yeah, I've put them in 16th, but I'm a bit worried that they could finish a bit higher. The main thing for me is if they sign another 2 central midfielders to pair up with Uwe Adams, just to like add that bit of extra depth and quality, then I think they could be really seriously pushing for playoffs. Personally, for me, John Eustace, I'd say he's probably one of the best managers in the Championship with some of the work that he's done. So, yeah, I'd put Derby 16th for now, but I'm not confident. I think they may finish higher, to be honest. Moving on, we've got Hull City. Now, for me, they've had another poor summer, losing quite a few good players as well. They lacked a lot of goals last season. Their home form was absolutely horrifying. They've got a transfer fee embargo as well, so they can't even spend any money, free transfers. Only Yaki Rovric, or however you say his name, new manager, brought him in from Turkey. Got more reservations against him. It's like their third manager in 3 seasons as well, so they are starting to go through it. As you know, ever since Rossini has gone, it has been a slip down the table, and with the quality in the Championship this season, I do seriously worry for them. Lack of goals is going to be a key problem, so I've got them going down in 22nd.
22nd, Sergej Jakirovic, appointed from Kayserispor in Turkey, where he steered them away from a relegation. So it looks like the Hull City hierarchy have brought him in to do a similar sort of job at Hull. As you say, they're under not quite a transfer embargo. They can't spend any money or any fees on transfers. Squad-wise, they have got some really good players, and I really like the full-backs in Ryan Giles and Cody Drama. Both of them can get forward and whipping crosses, etc. But in front of goal, they were woeful last year, and they haven't got a lot of attacking options in going through the centre, so they're going to have to bring somebody in. At least Burstow has gone out on loan, I believe, to Bolton in the first division. I think he scored against Mansfield in pre-season friendly, so who knows how they're going to be. They are toothless up front. Sean McLaughlin went out the door to Blackburn, but coming in from West Brom is Samaya Ajay, who's been around in the Championship for years, Premier League experience as well. They've also brought in a 20-year-old central midfielder, Reda Laloui. I think that's how I butchered another name there, and he comes from Rabat, Morocco. Plenty of experience in the middle of the park. So it's like Casey Palmer's still there, isn't he? Yeah, I've got them in 22nd as well, Nathan. About a week ago, I had them staying up, but the more I look into their situation and the teams around them and how they're recruiting, I've unfortunately had to put Hull in 22nd. They could claw themselves out of it if they can scour the loan market or the 3 transfers, but it's not looking good for Hull. Next, we move on to and Ipswich, and the bookies have got them as favourites. I've looked at their squad, absolutely phenomenal, even though they might be losing Broadhead to Wrexham. We'll see how that goes. It's yeah, it's been speculation all day today. Kieran McKenna's done absolutely an excellent job. However, they did get relegated from the Premier League, and kudos to the Ipswich board to not sack him really, and to keep him on.
The fact they kept him, even with all the interest around him as well, is fair play.
Very good. They've got a little bit of a rebuilding job to do in the centre of midfield. Sam Morsey, he's gone over to QAT football, hasn't he? And Liam Delap up front. They've got the money for him in.
They got very good money for him.
for Chelsea, but they've got quality all over the pitch. And if they can get this highly rated, the Middlesbrough midfielder Hayden Hackney. They should go up automatically, especially with the likes of, like on the flanks, likes of Jack Clark, Jaden Philogene, Smoditz at front, Leif Davis bombing forward from left back, who didn't look out of place in the Premier League. And guess who's coming back on loan as well into the Championship? Oh, friend, Cedric Kipre. He'll be another good addition to Ipswich at the centre half, and Ab's experience and depth to their ranks. I've got Ipswich in first position. Yeah, they could storm this league as well. A tough opening fixture though, away against Birmingham.
Yeah, I've gone exactly the same as you there. My league winners at the end of the day kept the squad. You have lost Liam Delap, but when you got like Shami Schmodix, Philogene on the wing, Jack Clark, who's absolutely cracking, Leif Davis whipping them in, as you said. The Sanaf Cap, who Wes Burns is probably going to still be there after his injury as well. Broadhead, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him if he buys into that Wrexham project as well. But we'll wait to see on that. Quality all over the pitch. You've got the money to spend if you need to chuck something in midfield. So yeah, absolutely ridiculous score for the Championship. Top of the league for me. Anyway, moving on to a more chaotic relegated side, Leicester City. Now, it's looking like they could be getting transfer embargo or a points deduction as well. It's quite a toxic atmosphere there in the East Midlands at the moment, isn't there? I think it's punishment from the last time they were in the Championship. Dodgy things happening. Got a very strong squad if they can keep it together for this level. Warford and Didi, if he does stay. Fatawu, Mavadidi absolutely ripped the league up on the wings the last time they won the league. Bobby Reed to Stonewall at this level. Jordan Ayew's another great striker as well. On a rate Cifuentes as a manager, but yeah, just the off the pitch issues, the possible points deduction, possibly losing more players as well, and just the sort of atmosphere around Leicester at the moment worries me. This could be a bad decision, but I put them in 8th.
It could happen. It could. Cifuentes coming in from QPR did a very good job with the R's last season. It's got his rewards here. with Leicester City. Is it a reward or is it punishment? You could say, because their fans are not happy, especially likes of Ant from the Leicester City fan channel. Not happy at all. They've been referred to an independent commission, as you said, and after being charged by the Premier League or when they were last in the Championship. An abundance of talent throughout their ranks. Fatwa, I think he was injured for quite a bit of last season, and him being fit, he's going to rip at the Championship like he did last time. Indeed, at the base of their midfield, excellent. Mavadidi on the left flank as well. So going forward, okay, we know they've lost Jamie Vardy, etc. But what they've got there, whether they have to sell players, because I think the money situation isn't great. I think they're looking to possibly sell the clubs, or there's murmurings as well. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Leicester City fans, but with the quality at the moment, even if they do get a point deduction, whether that happens or not, I've put them in 5th position because the amount of talent in their squad. We now move on to M and Middlesbrough. Rob Edwards taking the reins there in the North East. I think he's got a big job on his hands, especially if Hayden Hackney moves to Ipswich. Not a lot of activity coming through the door at Middlesbrough. They do have decent options though going forward, like Tommy Conway. Morgan Whittaker didn't have the best
of a flop so far.
Yeah, last season, but we know what he's capable of. Goals from outside the area, etc., and plenty of running. He needs to show that a lot more this coming season. And I think Foss had a lot of injuries last season. Marcus Foss and Bergsog, they need to really step up as well and get amongst the goals. I've got them in 15th position, which is probably quite low. I'd like to see a few more additions coming in the door for my prediction to be a bit higher. And in the past, I think 2 or 3 seasons, I've had them actually going up by the playoffs or finishing in the top 2. I've probably given myself the kiss of death on this one by finishing 15th, and they'll probably go up automatically now. But I've learnt my lesson the last couple of seasons. I put them in 15th position.
Yeah, I've been a bit more modest. I've gone sort of what they finished last season in 10th. Hayden Hackney looks like he's gone. I believe that Vandenberg's also left the club as well. So Rob Edwards, well, we saw what he was like last time he was in the Championship when he went into Watford, got sacked, took Luton up straight away. So it's a real tricky one, isn't it? It's going to massively rely on Tommy Conway and also Azaz hitting the goals as well. So going to be modest, going to go 10th with the quality in the rest of the Championship this season. Anyway, moving on. Now this is a bold one for me, Millwall. If that team stays fit, it's going to be lethal next season. Alex Neil, loads of experience in the Championship, taking the likes of Norwich up. He's managed Stoke, he's managed Sunderland. They kept the likes of Ivanovic and Tanganga as well, which is just crazy. And who's that? Coburn as well. It looks like he's back from his injury as well, so they are going to be pretty lethal. I don't know why. They keep everything on the hush. I think they're going to have a strong season. Alfie Dougherty's coming as well, adding depth. It's a very good Championship squad. I'm chucking him in the playoffs 6th.
Wow, yeah. Millwall, yeah, they seem to be quite a stable club, aren't they, at the moment? I think they're run by the Berylson family. They've really kept things on an even keel. Say Alex Neil, loads of experience in the Championship, finishing 8th last season, and I think they'll improve on last season as well. I have got them in 7th. Alfie Doherty, good addition coming in from Luton. Massimo Longu from Ipswich will add experience and depth in midfield. Josh Coburn, though, has sealed a $5 million deal from Middlesbrough, but he was on loan with Millwall last season. And Ivanovic up front did really well last season, scoring 12 in 37 Championship appearances. I think they'll do well again. They'll probably want to keep it on the hush, just quietly go about their business. Whether they'll get into the playoffs, I'm not so sure. Maybe they'll just miss out. But an improvement on last season, I've gone for them in 7th position. Next up, we got N, and N is for Norwich, and they had a bit of an underwhelming season last year, even though that they had the likes of Sainz amongst their ranks, scoring some phenomenal goals. But he's no longer there this season. He's shunting himself off to Porto. Yeah, they finished in 13th position last season. Whether they keep hold of Josh Sargent, I'm not sure. I think he's probably on his way back to Germany, but in comes Matthias Sitzergarden, comes in from Bromby, so we'll see how he does. They've brought in quite a few players. Harry Darling from Swansea.
Solid centre back, but just don't play him in Derby. He's terrible.
Yeah, so he's come in, permanently signed Jacob Wright after his loan season from Man City. Liam Manning joining from Bristol, did very well there, and he'll hope to replicate this at his boyhood club. I think he'll do well. I think he'll make improvements. Players coming in are all right, decent. Darling, touch and go in the centre of defence. But yeah, I've got Norwich in 8th position. I think they'll have a much better campaign this time around.
Interesting, yeah. Bringing in Jacob Wright's fantastic. Darling, as you said, it adds the quality a little bit of sense back. Jeffrey Schlupp as well coming in, the former Crystal Palace man. Yeah, that's very good experience, which is going to really pave Norwich to push up the table. The problem I have here, though, is Brozier Sainz. Of course, he's gone, and I'm pretty sure they practically built the squad around him with how good he was last season. Josh Sargent, of course, that's another one that I'm a bit concerned about, but you still got like Marcelino Nunes, haven't you, there? But
yeah, worldy goals.
Yeah, scores loads of worldies, but I think just the concern with Sainz just keeps them out of the playoffs for me, so I've put him in 7th. However, if Liam Manning does drag him kicking and screaming in there, I won't be surprised, to be honest. Moving on to Oxford United, there may be a little bit of second season syndrome there. However, Gary Rowett, I really do rate him as a Championship manager. They've got a Championship squad with, Championship quality across the pitch, really. Only thing that they need to do for me is they've got to shore up that defence, especially from last season with some of the calamities that they had. If they can do that, they'll be fine. And to be honest, I think they will, 20th.
20th, no. I think they're going down. I've got them in 23rd position. Gary Rowett's fairly decent at championship level, pragmatic manager, defensively sound, etc. I think they're quite solid last season, weren't they? Problem scoring goals. Mark Harris up front, he can't do it all on his own, and he's never really been prolific, has he? He gets in people's faces, etc. Brian de Kersemaker coming in from Belgium, who's played for Heracles Alamero in the Netherlands. Okay. And Luke Harris has come in as well from Fulham. I think he was with Birmingham on loan last season. So I think they need reinforcements up front, maybe okayish defensively, have I said. But I think their lack of attacking options will be their downfall. At the back, we said they're quite solid. We've got Kieran Brown there, and he always seems stiff-legged to me. Bit of bite in the middle of the park with Will Volks. Matt Phillips, still running around on the wing, still there. But I think, again, like last season, Cameron Brannigan, so important to them.
If you lose him, you're going to be down in 23rd territory, definitely.
Set pieces, good passer of the ball. In and out of games sometimes, but he's their star man, isn't he? So I have got them, unfortunately, in 23rd position. Another promoted team that came up with Oxford at that time, I've got Portsmouth. I've got Portsmouth finishing in 17th position, which I think is a little bit lower than they finished last season. But I think they will have another good season, another season of consolidation. They're sort of slowly building themselves, aren't they? Getting them more established, a little bit like Derby, but I fancy Derby to finish a little bit higher. Squad, you could say, is a little bit aging, like some Marlon Pack in the middle of the park. Matt Ritchie on the wing, he's probably he's a walk-in frame, but he did all right last season. John Swift,
that's
sort of stalwart of the Championship, coming in from West Brom. Didn't have the best of seasons there, but he was always excellent with Reading, wasn't he? So he'll add experience in the middle of the park, and you know, he's still got a few years in the tank, hasn't he? Pompey, though, they brought in this winger, Adrian Sedicic, I think that's how you pronounce it, coming in from Sydney FC. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Josh Murphy now, 2 seasons, absolutely phenomenal. Can he keep it up for a 3rd season, or will his form dip? If he can get firing, then maybe they'll finish higher than 17th. But I think a solid enough season, 17th. I don't think they'll be dragged into a dogfight like they were last year. Yeah, Portsmouth 17th.
Yeah, for me, after last season's solid season where they were excellent at Fratton Park, I love Mousinho as a championship manager as well. He's very good. They are turning into a solid mid to lower table championship side, but the sooner that you can really add quality and sort of age out that age in midfield, then I think Portsmouth will be a way to go for me. It's just going to be a year or two transitioning, and the sooner that you can get those signings in, get that transition, the better for Pompey, to be honest. And with some of the teams down below them, I can't see them going down at all. They're going to be fairly safe for me. Moving on, next up we got Preston. They've had some alright recruitment, likes of bringing in likes of Michael Smith up front from Sheffield Wednesday. As everyone knows, your opinions there. Just solid championship players again, but I don't rate Heckingbottom as a manager. I've never rated him at all. And it's another side when you compare the rest of the league, it does worry the life out of me. So I get a bad vibe about Preston. I can see Heckingbottom going out the door quite quickly. I think it's going to be a stinker. I'm going 23rd.
23rd?
Yeah.
Wow. Not last, but 23rd going 23rd. Down. Yeah, not looking good for Preston. They have brought in players, but not sure of the quality.
It's quantity over quality.
Yeah, it is. They've brought in some defensive players in. Andrija Vukovic, Odeluga Afaya as well, and Paul Valentin. So in midfield, Jordan Thompson, Northern Ireland international, will bolster things up. So not too bad. Up front, they brought in Daniel Jebison, who's still fairly young, but isn't really prolific in front of goal. Michael Smith, he does score goals, but he's getting on in years, so he's not going to be playing every single game, is he? But Will Keane's still there, by the way, but I think he only scored 3 goals last season
it's nowhere near enough
for Preston. So I think it's going to be a season for a struggle for Preston. We usually see a lot of managerial casualties and think Heckingbottom will probably be one of these, unfortunately.
I think it'd be the first. That's a spoiler for later in the video, though.
Yeah, but I do have Preston in 20th. I think there's teams below them who aren't quite there this season, and I think Preston will survive in 20th. Now, a team who I do think it will improve, even though they've lost Cifuentes to Leicester City, Julian Stefan coming in, who's got decent pedigree with Reims and Strasbourg, is Queen's Park Rangers. I've got them in 11th position. Going forward, they've got an abundance of talent in the likes of Elias Chair, Dembele, who I think was injured for quite a bit of last season, and Poku coming in from Peterborough looks phenomenal. Well, he looked phenomenal in Division 1, and it's really going to be really exciting watching him develop in this QPR side. That front three could rip opposition Championship defensives to shreds. So if they can clear steer of injuries in those positions, and if they can keep it tight at the back, maybe they'll be knocking on the playoff berths. I don't think they'll quite get there, and there's a lot of sort of strong teams around sort of the quality of Queen's Park Rangers, but those front three really excite me. I've gone for 11th for the R's.
Yeah, that Poku signing, really impressed by it. And I've also been looking into Julian Stefan as well. It seems that wherever he goes and whatever season he's in, especially what we've seen at Ron and Strasbourg as well, they always get off to a flying start. It's sort of a similar to affair to what Marcelo Bielsa had whenever he was at Leeds. So we need to massively watch for that. But that's what causes injuries. They will end up stuttering massively towards the second half of the season. I can see that easily with QPR, and in fact, I am a bit worried. I put them a bit low, so I put them in 15th. But if they finish anywhere up to 10th, I would not be surprised at all. But something is brewing nicely up there for me, so QPR will want to watch in the next couple of years. Moving on, next up we have got Sheffield United. Now, I'm not keen at all on their recruitment, to be honest. Louis Barry, I know what we did well at Stockport last season. They, of course, nearly got double promoted with Wrexham as well. They've lost Sousa, which is a massive loss for them as well, but they've still got quality over the park. Like Gus Hamer's by far one of the best players in the league, adding on to the likes of Callum O'Hare as well. Quality everywhere for me. But I just think the recruitment and Ruben Selles, who's been a bit of a firefighter in the last couple of jobs, I think it just keeps him out of the automatics for me. So I'm going to put him in third. Yeah, he normally goes into save teams, doesn't he? But this is a different sort of role for him. Sheffield United, they ran out of steam in a lot of games last season. Case in point was the final against Sunderland, where they really should have been promoted. They should have poor in some games, they should have seen out that game, and they should be playing their trade in the Premier League. Holding on to Gus Hamer is a must. Kiefer Moore could be out the door. I do like Louis Barry coming in, plenty of pace, gets around the pitch a lot, and Ollie Arblaster's a decent player. Callum O'Hare, if he can push his game on again. Tom Davis is decent as it is Tyrese Campbell at times. So I've got them with Sellers. I think he's going to get them fighting fit. I don't think they'll make the mistakes as much as they did last season with running out of steam. I've got them in second position. I think they're going to go up. I think they're going to go up with the Tractor Boys, and I've got them in second position. Next up, we've got the shambles that is Sheffield Wednesday. Do we need to say anything? I think everybody knows. I think everyone has got them in this same spot as well. It's just sad, isn't it?
It is. I feel for the Sheffield Wednesday fans, but 24th. I think you got them in 24th. As well. Danny Roll.
Saying that, actually, I've only seen, out of all the championship predictions, I've seen one that haven't put them in 24th.
Yeah, in 23rd.
23rd, and one staying up, I think. But general consensus with that absolute shambles that's been going on there for years, and well, a certain area that don't need to mention turning a blind eye to it as well. But less said about that.
Yeah, Mr. Shansiri?
No, EFL.
Indeed, and the chairman or the owner as well. But
shocking.
Danny Roll, I think, was it yesterday? He walked out the door, so that leaves Henrik Pedersen. I think the rest of the coaching staff has gone as well. Something like 10 players over the age of 21 they've got left. It is an absolute shambles. Will they even be able to field a team for their first fixture?
And more importantly as well, tomorrow, we're filming this on the 30th, tomorrow's the 31st, so I believe for Sheffield Wednesday in particular, is their payday, so are they going to miss it the third month in a row?
They may well do, yeah.
Players will go on strike, won't they? Oh, it's shocking.
Possibly. They'd have to bring the youth team if they've got a youth team left.
If they pay them as well.
And looking at their team, who can they rely on? Maybe Bailey Kadamatre up front is the pick of their youngsters. Perhaps 5 goals last season, went on loan with Lincoln, so we'll see what happens. They're going to have to look to the loan market, aren't they? And free agents as well. Like Josh Windass going out the door. Callum Patterson, one of the senior players who wasn't paid. He's now with MK Dons. Barry Bannon, I think he's still training with them. No contract, so he's probably not going to play. And how long will he be there? An absolute shambles. 24 Sheffield Wednesday. And for yourself, Nathan?
Well, 24th, and I've said my piece, haven't I? So swiftly moving on from that mess. Southampton, bit of a rebuild year for them, isn't it? They brought in Will Still, the meme himself, the football manager meme. Lost a few key players with experience. That Damien Downs is probably their key signing, isn't he? He looks fairly decent. They've got it's a high value squad, isn't it? That it was absurd how they finished, the second worst Premier League team of all time, but that's what happens when you appoint Russell Martin. So for that reason, it's going to be a transition again for them. They desperately need a reset and to sort out what they're doing instead of rushing back up with a hipster, stupid style of play. So for that reason, I'm going to put them in fourth.
Yeah, I've gone for fourth as well. They have lost a few key players, but I think they've got an abundance of talent in their ranks anyway. Kyle Walker-Peters, I think, went out on free in the end to West Ham.
That's poor business, that is.
Bednarek off to Porto, which is a very good move for him personally. Adam Lallana, of course, has retired, and Sulemana has gone to Atalanta, which is a great move for him. You say Damien Downs, 6'4", internationals come in from Cologne. Joshua Kawasi, central defender from Hoffenheim. We'll see how he is. He's been on loan in the Bundesliga second division. Cameron Archer's still there, and he'll bag the goals more than in the Championship than he does in the Premier League. Howard Bellis is still there. Matías Fernandes, phenomenal player. I think they'll have no problems reaching the playoffs. Come the end of the season, if our predictions are correct, the likes of Birmingham, Southampton, Leicester and Coventry fighting out for that one spot is going to be a very, very interesting and exciting playoff campaign. Next up, Stoke City. I've got them in 16th position. Okay, they've been bringing in the players. Zorba Thomas, for me, a lot of people who kind of turning their nose up at that, but he has been absolutely phenomenal for Wales in recent international. Maxim Talavirov, the ponytail brute at the back with Plymouth from last season. He comes in, and if he can keep his discipline, if he starts off well, his no-nonsense style will be really good for Stoke City. Alan Cresswell, okay, he's aging in years, but he brings a wealth of experience and pace. Full-back, Robert Bozanek, Slovakia striker from Boa Vista, tall, doesn't look too prolific, but he'll give them something up front, I'm sure. Gone under the radar slightly, Stoke has. Mark Robbins, decent manager, whether he can get them going, possibly. I don't think they'll go down. He's building a competitive side there, isn't he, Robbins? I don't think they can reach mid-table. It's just another sort of season in the lower reaches where they kind of feel at home, don't they?
Yeah, interesting. Like I've just said, I really like the Stormer Thomas deal. Of course, he was on loan at Nantes last season when Huddersfield did drop into League One. But you've lost Tom Cannon, so I can see the same issues happening here. I don't know where the goals are coming from. And it's just rinse and repeat for Stoke, where they sign a load of players, and not rubbish either. You get the odd rubbish, but it's all quality that comes in as well. But look at where they've been since 2018. They haven't finished in the top half since then. That's 8 years now, which How sad is that? So I think it's going to be the same again for him, unfortunately. 18th. Now moving on, Swansea City, the Jacks. Now this one just scares the absolute life out of me. Got the takeover. We don't need to mention any of the other business that's happened there. Ianusa, that's a ridiculously good signing as well. They've signed so many good players. Galbraith, that kid in midfield from Leyton Orient, fantastic. Bobby Wales, I think that's a bit of a hipster signing for me, but at the end of the day, just looking at everything that's going on down there with all the momentum that's pushing them on, that Wrexham and also the Newport takeover just shows how badly we have it as Cardiff City fans, don't we? I'm being cautious here, and the one thing I will say is I am a bit concerned about Alan Sheehan, especially the way that they've been performing in pre-season. It's not been great, has it? But he did deserve the job ultimately with the job he did towards the second half of last season, so I'm going to put him in 9th.
9th, wow.
Could be a bit higher though, that's what worries me.
Yeah, I think they've sort of sorted themselves off the pitch, haven't they? And to have it stable off the pitch, behind the scenes, then that can be great for on the pitch as well. Sheehan, he's sort of getting his feet under the table now, implementing his ideas, not too hipster on the pitch.
Yep. Good.
Sort of a bit more going forward, a bit more direct, but not too direct. Yeah, you say about Zidane Inuso coming in from Hackham in Sweden. He looks a very strong, powerful, quick winger. Whether he'll do it in the Championship remains to be seen with the quality that some Championship defences will have. But he is an upgrade on the likes of Eon and Ronald. So Ronald, he actually started off quite well, but they can both be woeful sometimes. That Eon, he looks all right sometimes, but a lot of the time
we've seen him live a few
Vauxhall
times.
Conference standard,
Terrible.
Yeah, but they do have some decent players. Like Liam Cullen can do a bit. Doesn't score enough goals for me, but he is a good player. Fulton blows hot and cold. Franco's very good.
Yeah, we'll say about Franco. He's going to go for big money, very imminently.
A real battler, isn't he, in the middle of the park? Ollie Cooper, another one that blows hot and cold, but is good on his day. I think it could be a slow start for the Jacks. I think they've got a few injury worries at the back at the moment. I think Kambango may be injured, as is Santos. So it could be a slow start, but I think they'll build up momentum, and I think they'll be all right. Nowhere near the danger zone for the Jacks, but I don't think they've got the top enough quality to get into the playoffs this season. But another one who's going to build and build, like Portsmouth, Derby, etc. I think they'll do well in 12th position. Swansea. Next up, we got the Hornets, Watford, and I have a look at them. I haven't got a clue where these guys are going to finish. Come at the end of the season, managerial revolving doors, players in and out. Can they keep hold of Čakovica? Sissoko still there. I think this is his second season, plenty of experience. Kembe, Kwando Bar, if he knows what he's doing, etc. Incomes manager Paulo Pezzolano, Uruguayan manager. He's managed Valladolid in Spain. He's got this sort of 4-3-3 attacking style, very dynamic. 6 players have come in. Vivaldo Semedo, 6 foot forward from Udinese. I think they get half this squad, don't they, sometimes from Udinese. He's been on loan in Netherlands and Portugal last season. 19-year-old Nestroy Irankunda, 5 appearances for the Australian national team. Could be a bit of a finder. He could. Looking forward to watching him, and he's come in on a 5-year contract. And he's with Bayern Munich, but didn't actually make any. I don't think he got on the grass or on the pitch with them. Maybe a couple of appearances on the sub-bench. So he's one to look for, one for the future. 5-year contract. Interesting to see how he gets on. But I've got Watford slap bang, well, just below mid-table in 13th position. Who knows?
Yeah, interesting. To be honest, truthfully, I don't have a clue where these are going to finish. We all know the Pozzos love to sack a manager. Pezzolano, well, that's just a bit of a punt, isn't it? But the one thing for me that's really advantageous for them, and I don't know whether they're going to keep him, is that they kept so far Chakradze. If he doesn't get injured and if he really propels them up the table, then I think they'll be all right with the squad depth they have. But it's Watford, isn't it? They just worry the life out of me. 14th position. Moving on, next up, we've got West Bromwich Albion. They cleared out the deadwoods, haven't they? So, for example, the Ajayis to Hull, John Swift to Portsmouth. Really, the aging players. Obviously, Kipray's gone. And then probably sooner or later, the likes of Carlon Grant, who's a decent enough player. Josh Madger, he might be phased out soon. Mawat, Jed Wallace. But they brought in loads of players. Nat Phillips is a very good player at this level as well at the back. Bringing in Ryan Mason, of course, the former Spurs coach and also caretaker manager. It'll be interesting to see what he does in a full-time squad. But with the impression that I'm getting in particular is this a transitional sort of give Ryan Mason a bit of time job. So for me, I'm going to stick him in 11th. I think they could finish a little bit higher or lower, but yeah, transition year for me.
Yeah, a little bit like Watford, not quite sure what to expect with West Brom. Ryan Mason come in, bags of experience, even though he is quite young. With Spurs, I think he was the youngest Tottenham manager or even Premier League manager at the time when he took the helm there at, I was going to say White Hart Lane at Tottenham Hotspur's Stadium. Income, they got this Anne Hegebo, who's known as the Norwegian Hulk. 23-year-old striker, something like 6'1" or over 6 foot. We'll see how he gets on in the Championship, but big lad. Up front, you said the departures, and they've still got, like you said, Callum Grant and Mowat and Wallace, etc. Decent enough first season. I think they'll improve on their position last season. Top 10 finish for me. I've got them in 9th. And finally, the last team on the list is Wrexham. Phil Parkinson is in charge. You've got to say he's done a brilliant job bringing them up from non-league all the way through to the Championship. And just the last couple of days, they've really been bringing in, splashing the cash. Broadhead on the verge of signing. We'll see if that goes through. Hasn't gone through at the time of recording. Ryan Hardy and Josh Windass up front. I think Windass is
signing loads of strikers. What they've already got as well.
They could have a team of strikers. They could have 11 up front or 10 up front with just a goalkeeper. Josh Windass probably the pick for me over Ryan Hardy. Ryan, he did score goals with Plymouth, but I'm not convinced with him at this level where I am with Josh Windass. They've still got Jay Rodriguez as well up front. Can they bring in Kiefer Moore? They do. They'll have so many options. Massive backing from their owners, of course, and we all know about their sort of worldwide fame with a TV show and everything. Defensively, last season, very, very solid, but they are in the Championship this season, and I think they do need more defensive recruits. Whether they bring them in, I suspect they will, and probably I've got them probably a little bit too low, but I've got them in 19th position. I know a few people are tipping them to go down, others have got them in the playoffs, so they should be between halfway and around about 20th. I got them in 19th position just because I'm not sure of the defence at this level, but I think they'll be very strong at home at the racecourse. Looking at them last season, I was looking at their results. They do well on a Saturday, but looking at a lot of their games, they lost in midweek on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, if they played on Wednesdays. Definitely on Tuesdays. So they don't like to perform in the evening, especially away from home. So we'll see how they get on. I've got them in 19th surviving.
Yeah, I've put them in 19th as well. I know it's biased from the both of us massively. I do like, very, very biased from me. I do think all the strikers that they're signing is absolutely fantastic. Broadhead's add massive depth if they can get him as well. But Phil Parkinson at this level, he has been absolutely woeful with previous teams he's managed. Midfield and defence, is there really enough depth there? I'm really concerned about that. Lewis O'Brien coming in, great.
I got to say, I think he's a decent
he's
player.
Very good.
He was okay at Swansea last season, but he's decent.
Yeah, because they're fuming that that he's actually gone to Wrexham on top as well as that. But ultimately, Danny Ward in goal as well, of course, who just seems to pick up a wage, does really well for Wales, but whenever at club level, he's been very dodgy. But going back to back is something that we haven't seen in decades at Championship level, and with the amount of money there is now, and listening to a lot of League One predictions from last year, it sounds like the quality in League One was extremely poor compared to previous years. Aside from like your Birminghams and Wrexhams, everyone else was not good at all. So it's going to be the difference is quite staggering, to be honest, with the impression I'm getting. So we've got to be modest here, and I've got 19th
as well. So there we have it. Those are our predictions for the final league table of this 2025-2026 EFL Championship season. Now, again, I'm going to be running a Superbru competition predictions league every single week. So the details for that are in the description below. Whether I'll be doing weekly videos on the Championship, I'm not too sure. I'm probably going to be concentrating mainly on the Premier League this season and dip my toe in now and again with the Championship, but the Superbru Predictions League is going to be all the same. Make sure you leave your predictions as well, where you see each and every club finishing. Rip apart our predictions as well, because some of these predictions could be a bit iffy. They could be spot on. We've been quite good in the last few
minus
years,
last season, of course. Yeah,
but prior to that, it hasn't been too bad. Nathan, before we go, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, normally we do first manager to be sacked, don't we? Of course, the vlogs will be coming back very soon in League One.
This Saturday,
playing Peterborough United. So
for those vlogs.
Yeah, unfortunately, no takeover just yet. But we normally go new manager, or who's going to be the first sacked. Of course, are we all in agreement? It's going to be Heckingbottom.
It could be, or Hull. They normally
Jakarovic
pull the trigger. Jakarovic.
But we can't not mention Watford as well for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Pezzolano, whatever his name is.
I think something like Rob Edwards. If Middlesbrough get off to a stinker, then I can see them getting rid of Edwards. But we'll see. We'll see how he gets on as well. But Nathan, thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching all the way through. If you've got this far, enjoy the Championship season. Remember to leave those predictions at the Superbru website. Enjoy the football coming up this weekend, and we'll see you all very soon for our Premier League predictions.